Remember that time you ordered a funny hat or a phone case from a website that seemed a little good to be true? Chances are, it came from China. And for a hot minute there, the United States Postal Service, USPS, decided to pump the brakes on accepting packages from China and Hong Kong. Chaos understandably ensued, but just as quickly as the announcement came, it was reversed. So what in the name of oddly specific phone cases was going on? To understand this postal pandemonium, we need to rewind a bit. Former President Donald Trump, a man known for his nuanced approach to international relations, that's sarcasm folks, decided to reignite his trade war with China. He signed an executive order in early February 2025 slapping new tariffs on Chinese imports. But here's the kicker, he also targeted a little something called the de minimis provision. Now, de minimis might sound like a Harry Potter spell, but it's actually a trade rule that allowed packages under $800 from China to enter the US without paying import taxes or going through rigorous customs inspections. This rule was initially designed to simplify the process for small, low-value shipments, making it easier for consumers to receive goods without the hassle of additional fees and delays. However, over time, it became a significant loophole that many businesses exploited to avoid paying their fair share of taxes. Think of it as a loophole for cheap goodies. Consumers loved it because it meant they could order inexpensive items from overseas without worrying about extra costs. Retailers, especially those in China, capitalized on this by shipping vast quantities of small packages directly to American customers. This practice not only flooded the market with cheap products but also put domestic businesses at a disadvantage, as they had to comply with stricter regulations and higher costs. Trump's executive order slammed that loophole shut, aiming to level the playing field for American businesses. The order mandated that all packages, regardless of their value, would be subject to the same import taxes and customs inspections. This move was part of a broader strategy to address trade imbalances and protect domestic industries from unfair competition, and the USPS, caught off guard, hit the pause button on Chinese parcels. The sudden change in policy created a logistical nightmare for the Postal Service, which was not prepared to handle the increased workload. Parcels piled up in sorting facilities, and delays became the norm as the USPS scrambled to adapt to the new requirements. They simply weren't equipped to handle the sudden influx of packages needing tariffs and inspections. The increased scrutiny meant that every package had to be carefully examined, taxed, and documented, a process that significantly slowed down the delivery times. This situation highlighted the challenges of implementing new trade policies and the need for better infrastructure and resources to support such changes. As the USPS and customs officials worked to clear the backlog, consumers and businesses alike had to adjust to the new reality of longer wait times and higher costs for imported goods. So, what did this whole debacle mean for the average American shopper, eagerly awaiting their novelty socks or phone charger? Well, for starters, get ready to pay more. With the de minimis provision gone, those dirt-cheap prices on Chinese goods are about to get a bit less dirt-cheap. And if you thought waiting for your package was bad before, buckle up. Increased customs inspections mean longer shipping times. Say goodbye to instant gratification, hello to package purgatory. Of course, the big players in the e-commerce game aren't just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, they are constantly innovating and adapting to the ever-changing market dynamics. The competition is fierce, and staying ahead requires not just quick thinking but also strategic planning and execution. Chinese fashion giant Shein, known for its ridiculously cheap clothes and questionable labor practices, has been strategically expanding its US presence. This move is not just about increasing their market share, but also about positioning themselves as a more reliable and accessible brand for American consumers. They've opened a massive warehouse in Indiana, which serves as a crucial logistics hub. This facility allows them to store a larger inventory closer to their US customer base, ensuring faster delivery times and better customer satisfaction. Additionally, they've set up an office in Washington state, hoping to bypass some of the tariff headaches that have plagued many international businesses. This office not only handles administrative tasks, but also serves as a strategic point for navigating the complex landscape of US trade regulations. Temu, another Chinese e-commerce platform, is taking a different approach. Instead of focusing solely on expanding their physical presence, they are leveraging technology and partnerships to make inroads into the US market. They're increasingly partnering with US-based vendors, which not only helps them build a more robust supply chain, but also fosters goodwill among American consumers who prefer to buy locally sourced products. By slapping local labels on their products, they are cleverly dodging the whole "imported from China" issue. This strategy not only helps them avoid tariffs, but also appeals to a growing segment of consumers who are becoming more conscious about the origins of the products they purchase. Both Shein and Temu are examples of how e-commerce companies are adapting to new challenges and opportunities. They are not just reacting to changes, but are proactively shaping the future of online retail. Whether it's through strategic expansions, innovative partnerships, or clever marketing tactics, these companies are setting new standards in the industry. As consumers, we can expect even more convenience and options in the coming years. The e-commerce landscape is evolving rapidly, and the companies that can adapt quickly will be the ones that thrive. So the next time you shop online, remember that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just a simple click of a button. Beyond China seeking new supply chain horizons. In recent years, the global supply chain has faced unprecedented challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and trade wars have all contributed to a perfect storm, disrupting the flow of goods and services across the world. Companies are now rethinking their strategies and looking for new ways to ensure their supply chains are resilient and adaptable. But it's not just the Chinese companies feeling the heat. Businesses worldwide are grappling with these disruptions. Empty factory floors and cargo ships stuck in ports have become all too common. The ripple effects are being felt across industries, from electronics to automotive, and even food and beverages. The need for diversification and risk management has never been more apparent. American businesses that rely on cheap Chinese imports are scrambling to adjust their supply chains. The reliance on a single source has proven to be a vulnerability. Companies are now holding emergency meetings, brainstorming ways to mitigate risks, and exploring alternative suppliers. The goal is to create a more flexible and robust supply chain that can withstand future shocks. Some are looking to source products from other countries like Vietnam or Mexico. These nations are emerging as attractive alternatives due to their growing manufacturing capabilities and favorable trade agreements. By diversifying their supplier base, companies hope to reduce their dependency on any single country and spread their risks more evenly. Others are biting the bullet and raising prices, hoping their customers are loyal enough to swallow the difference. The increased costs of raw materials, shipping, and labor are being passed on to consumers. While this strategy may help businesses stay afloat in the short term, it also risks alienating price-sensitive customers and driving them to competitors. It's a global game of musical chairs, and no one wants to be left standing when the music stops. The stakes are high, and the pressure is mounting. Companies must navigate this complex landscape with agility and foresight. Those who can adapt quickly and effectively will emerge stronger, while those who fail to do so may find themselves left behind in this ever-evolving global market. The future of US-China trade, a rocky road ahead? This whole USPS saga, albeit brief, highlights the increasingly tense relationship between the US and China. Trump's executive order is just the latest shot fired in what's shaping up to be a protracted trade war. And as with any war, there will be casualties. Consumers will face higher prices, businesses will grapple with uncertainty, and the global economy will continue its bumpy ride. What you can do, navigating the new normal. So, what's a savvy consumer to do in this brave new world of tariffs and trade wars? First, accept that those too good to be true prices might actually be too good to be true. Factor in potential price hikes and longer shipping times when ordering from Chinese websites. Consider supporting local businesses, even if it means spending a few extra bucks. And most importantly, stay informed. Stay informed, stay savvy, your wallet will thank you. The world of international trade is complex and constantly evolving. What seems like a temporary blip one day could become the new normal the next. So, keep your eyes peeled, your ears open, and your wallets ready. Because in the game of global commerce, knowledge is power, and ignorance can be expensive.